The mansion didn't feel like a home. It felt like a beautifully decorated cage. Adeline stood at the foot of the grand staircase, her small travel bag by her side, absorbing the silence that seemed heavier than noise. The marble floors reflected the chandelier light, but none of it warmed her. Everything whispered wealth, control, and rules she didn't yet understand. Adrian descended the stairs slowly, his footsteps deliberate. He didn't rush. He never rushed. His tailored suit fit him like authority itself, and when his eyes met hers, she felt the unspoken reminder of the contract she had signed only hours ago. This wasn't a marriage of love. It was a transaction, and he intended to run it like one. "Welcome to your new home," Adrian said calmly, his voice smooth but distant. "You'll find everything you need here." He gestured around casually, as if the place wasn't intimidating enough to swallow her whole. Adeline nodded, unsure whether gratitude or fear was the appropriate response. "And the rules?" she asked softly, tightening her grip on her bag. Adrian's lips curved slightly, not quite a smile. "You'll learn them quickly," he replied. "But for now, just remember one thing. Nothing here is accidental, including you." A housekeeper appeared, polite but watchful, escorting Adeline to her room. The bedroom was larger than the apartment she'd grown up in, complete with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Still, the luxury felt impersonal, like it belonged to someone else's life. As the door closed behind her, Adeline sank onto the bed, exhaling shakily. She reminded herself why she was here, why she had signed that contract. Survival. Family. Escape from a future worse than this. Yet her chest tightened at the thought of sharing a house with a man who had already warned her not to fall in love. Dinner was silent. Adrian sat across from her at the long dining table, scrolling through his phone while she poked at her food. Every clink of cutlery echoed loudly in the vast space. She wondered if this was what marriage was supposed to feel, like distance disguised as elegance. "You don't have to be afraid," Adrian said suddenly, without looking up. Fear clouds judgment. Adeline swallowed. "I'm not afraid," she replied, though her voice betrayed her. He finally raised his eyes, studying her. "Good. Because poor decisions have consequences in this house." Later that night, Adeline wandered the hallway, unable to sleep. The walls were lined with abstract art, beautiful but cold. She wondered if Adrian had ever felt lonely in a place this big, or if loneliness was something he'd long ago learned to ignore. She stopped when she heard voices from a partially open door. Adrian was on a call, his tone sharp and unforgiving. "I don't care how long it takes," he said. "Make sure no one finds out." Adeline stepped back quietly, her heart racing. What had she married into? The next morning began with structure. A schedule was handed to her meal times, gym hours, media restrictions. No interviews, no unscheduled outings, no visitors without approval, Adrian said flatly as he skimmed the paper. "And my life?" Adeline asked, frustration creeping in. Adrian paused, then replied evenly, "Your life is safe." That was the agreement. His eyes softened for half a second before hardening again. Freedom was never part of the deal. Adeline spent the day exploring the mansion grounds, trying to reclaim a sense of control. She told herself she wouldn't let fear rule her. Yet every corner reminded her that this place belonged to Adrian, not her. In the garden, she found him on a call again. His tone quieter this time. "She doesn't know," he said. "And she must never." Adeline froze behind a pillar, her breath catching. Whatever secret he was protecting, it involved her. And ignorance suddenly felt dangerous. That evening, she confronted him. "What don't I know?" she asked, her voice trembling but firm. Adrian looked at her for a long moment, as if weighing how much truth she could handle. "You know enough," he said finally. "And too much curiosity will hurt you." His words were calm, but his eyes warned her. Adeline lifted her chin. I didn't agree to be lied to. Adrian stepped closer. You agreed to be protected. The tension between them was undeniable, Mel. Every glance lingered too long. Every conversation felt like a battle neither wanted to win. Adeline hated how aware she was of him, his presence, his voice, the restraint he carried like armor. That night, lying in bed, she replayed the contract in her mind. Do not fall in love. The rule echoed louder than ever, because for the first time, she realized the real danger wasn't him. It was what she was beginning to feel. Adrian stood alone in his study, staring at the city lights. He told himself this marriage was necessary, strategic, temporary. But when he thought of Adeline's defiant eyes and quiet strength, his resolve wavered. This changes nothing, he muttered to himself. Yet deep down, he knew the truth rules only existed because they could be broken. The next day brought unexpected visitors, business associates who eyed Adeline with curiosity thinly disguised as judgment. She played her role flawlessly, smiling politely, saying little. Adrian watched from across the room, impressed despite himself. She wasn't weak. She was adapting, and that made her far more dangerous to his carefully controlled world. After the guests left, Adrian pulled her aside. You did well, he said quietly. Adeline blinked, surprised. Is that approval? She asked. He hesitated. It's acknowledgement. For a brief moment, something unspoken passed between them. Gratitude. Respect. Something warmer. Then Adrian stepped back, rebuilding the wall between them brick by brick. That night, Adeline dreamed of fire-burning contracts, collapsing walls, Adrian reaching for her and pulling away at the last second. She woke up breathless, her heart pounding. She sat up, realizing something terrifying. The rules weren't protecting her from him. They were protecting him from her. Adrian received a call that changed everything. She's asking questions, the voice said. His jaw tightened. Keep her away from the truth, he replied. At all costs. He looked toward Adeline's room, guilt flickering across his face. This marriage was no longer just about protection. It was about control, and he was losing it. The next morning, Adrian announced a trip. We're traveling, he said. Public appearance. Damage control. Adeline frowned. I wasn't informed. You don't need to be, he replied sharply, then softened his tone. Pack light. We leave tonight. The urgency in his voice unsettled her. As she packed, Adeline found a document slipped into her bag. It wasn't hers. It was labeled confidential. Her hands shook as she opened it. One name jumped out immediately, hers. Her heart raced as she scanned the pages. Background checks. Financial transactions. Threat assessments. This wasn't a marriage file. It was a protection dossier. Adeline's breath caught. What am I mixed up in? She whispered. She confronted Adrian before they left. You've been hiding things from me, she said, holding up the file. Adrian froze. For the first time, his control cracked. You weren't supposed to see that, he said quietly. His voice wasn't angry. It was afraid. Tell me the truth, Adeline demanded. Why me? Adrian stepped closer, his voice low. Because you're the only one they can't touch while you're mine. Her stomach dropped. Who is they? She asked. Adrian met her gaze, the weight of everything unsaid heavy between them. People who destroy what they can't control, he replied. And as the mansion doors closed behind them, Adeline realized one terrifying truth. She hadn't married a billionaire. She had married into a war.